Okay, so you'll hear me say this a lot throughout this video. Trust the process. Seriously, you have to trust the process, because if you don't, you're gonna be nervous, you're gonna get sad, you might even get a little depressed, because for some of you, like me, this job is such a cool opportunity and I really wanted it, and I know there are other people who want it, and this could be your 18th time trying to get the job. Trust the process. I'm not kidding. You have to trust the process. Hello everybody, welcome back to Flight Attendant Justin. I am currently sitting at the Salem airport because I guess I just like to do vlogs in my car at different airports throughout Oregon. Last time I was at Portland, and so now I'm back in my hometown, which is Salem. Today I want to jump right into it. I am reviewing my flight attendant application process. I know everybody's process is different, and if you are new to this process and you're wanting to become a flight attendant, I encourage you to look through YouTube, look online in the different Indeed forums, look at the Glassdoor forums, just to get a better understanding of what everybody's process is like, because everybody is different. Every airline is different. Every person, you would think it's going to be this unique A to Z or 1 to 100 start to finish process, but it's different for everybody. So today I want to talk about the two different application processes that I went through in my journey to become a flight attendant. I got both of the jobs. One of them I turned down and one of them I took because it was my dream airline, and I'm super excited about that. So for the purpose of this vlog, I'm going to start with the one that was the quickest, the fastest, and the easiest for me, and that was also the one that I turned down. So I applied on a Sunday night around 11 p.m. I went to this airline's website and I submitted my application. I didn't include a cover letter. I just turned in my resume and answered some of the questions. It was very basic. Are you 18? Not 18. Are you 21 years old? Are you able to work in the US? Are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to pay for your uniform? And all of those questions. So I went through that process. I submitted it around 11 p.m. on a Sunday night. That next morning, I was in a meeting and I got an email notification at about 11 a.m. saying, "This is blank airline. We would love to get to know you more. Please come and do the video interview." 12 hours after I applied online, I got the video interview. Super fast. I've never had a job respond to me that fast, which was great. Super exciting. So I prepared. I read through a lot of different online forums on Indeed and Glassdoor and just different blogs and YouTube vlogs to prepare for this interview. And then that night I dressed up, I got my suit on, and I sat at my desk and answered the questions via video. It was very customer service focused. It was very typical, very standard, very what you would expect for a video interview. And if you've done a video interview before, it's probably the same thing. I submitted that around 9 p.m. of the day that I got it, so within 10-ish hours. And then the next day, woke up, hadn't heard anything, and I didn't expect to hear anything at all. And then 3 p.m. rolls around with an email coming from this airline, and it said, "Thank you so much for submitting your video interview. We would love to invite you to the interview location in Houston, Texas." I was so thrilled, so ecstatic. I didn't really know what to think because that's just so fast for an interview process. Within 36 nearish hours, I was already being invited to Houston to go and do the interview. So I responded, I set up my phone interview, or not my phone interview. I set up my face-to-face interview with the company, and they flew me out. I got the interview on Tuesday, and I scheduled my interview for the following Tuesday. So I had a whole week to prepare, which was really great. I had some time. That following Monday, I flew out of Portland, and they paid for it, which was super great, to Houston. Checked into my hotel, did some preparing, and the nerves set in. Even though I didn't really want to work for this company, I'm a type of person who I just really want to do well, and I want to get the job. I think everybody wants that. So I was kind of nervous. Tuesday morning rolls around, I go to the interview, and the process was very interesting. So they are watching you from the second you walk in the door. From the second that you check in with the HR recruiter or the receptionist, they're watching. So really be on your A game, be chatting with other people, be friendly, always be smiling. So we checked in, and then from there we went to it was like a conference room type thing, and we sat down, we watched a video, they did a company overview. Again, they're watching you when they are doing this video, so be on your A game. So after we did that, they said, okay, we're gonna do an icebreaker, get up in front of the group, and they asked where are you from, what's your name, and then they asked a special question. My question was, tell us about a person living or dead that you would want to spend a day with, and what would you do? I said I wanted to be President Barack Obama, not the current president, but Barack Obama, because I wanted to fly on Air Force One. So super cool, super easy. I was really proud of myself because normally those kind of questions throw me off, but I made it through. So after everybody's gone through that, or after everybody did go through that for this matter, they said we're gonna do one-on-one interviews. Then they started interviewing us, and in the interview with the lead recruiter or the recruiter or whoever you're meeting with, they're gonna ask you those specific questions like, tell me about a time when you did this, tell me about a time when you did this, are you good at customer service, blah, blah, blah. And this is your opportunity to sell yourself. Because in the group, when you're working with everybody and answering the questions, yes, it's important that you smile and stuff, but you're not gonna talk about your skills. So in the interview with the recruiter, that's when you do that. I went through all the questions. They were, again, pretty standard, again, pretty what I read online. And he said, thank you so much. We'd like to invite you to the final interview, which was great. I was super excited, but not everybody's getting invited to this interview. So don't say anything when we take you back to this room, and you need to keep it top secret, discreet. Okay, sounds good. So from there, we went back to the original room. I sat back down. It was very awkward because it was very clear that some people got the interview and some people had no idea what the heck was going on. After everybody had finished their first round of interviews, a recruiter came in and called off a list of names and said, thank you so much, we're done for the day, and they walked out, and I'm assuming they went back to the airport. In this final interview, they again ask you, do you have any visible tattoos? Are you willing to relocate? Can you accept a salary of whatever the salary is for that airline that you're working with? And if you answer all of those questions, then they say, we would love to offer you a job. In this situation, they wanted me to go to training in 2 weeks, and that was not something that I was comfortable or ready to do yet, just because of my current job. And also, I didn't really want to work for this airline. That was a great experience, and then I flew back home. So overall, this first process that happened in 36 hours / a week was really great. It's how HR should be. It's how this process for flight attendants should be, but not all airlines are like that. So my second interview was with my dream company. It's with the airline that I wanted to work with forever. And honestly, I had no idea that I wanted to be a flight attendant until someone said, you would be a really good flight attendant. So I applied and thought that it would be great. So the process, I applied back in the end of October. It was crazy. The application was only open for 4 or 5 days, and they had 7,000 applications, which is nothing compared to other major airlines, but that's still a ton of applications. After that, I heard nothing, absolutely nothing. And it was really hard. I didn't get a hang tight. We're reviewing applications. My status on the online portal did not change. I heard absolutely nothing, and it was super hard. I was preparing myself that I didn't get this job, that other people were moving forward and I wasn't, and that was just how it was going to be. So I didn't hear back from this airline for nearly 3 months. I applied on October 29th, and I finally got an email on January 30th, I think. January 30th or February 1st saying, thank you for your patience, we would like to schedule a phone interview. Finally, I was so excited, and at that point I scheduled an interview for the following week. It was a week from the day that I got the interview, and it was a phone interview. So that day came, and it was a 6-minute conversation. The recruiter basically just asked, are you willing to relocate? Can you swim? Do you have any visible tattoos? Why do you want to work for this airline? And I answered all of those questions, and then she said, great, we would love to have you come and interview in person in Seattle. So I obviously said yes, because I really wanted to work there, and the interview was for the coming Tuesday. So I had 4 days, I think, to put something together, book a hotel, find transportation up there, and get to Seattle for the interview. So I did some preparing in my room. I read this really awesome book. I would highly recommend this to anybody who is looking to become a flight attendant. Read the book, did some pre-meditation things that I like to do, like singing the safety video to my favorite airline, and then I went to bed. I slept horribly. I didn't sleep well at all. Got up at 5 a.m. the next day for an 8 a.m. interview, got dressed, and then I took an Uber to the interview location, the in-flight training center, with several other candidates. We got there, we checked in, it was snowing like crazy, and it began with a reach test. So airlines want to make sure that, you know, oh God, I need to take this out, Jesus. So the airline wants to make sure that we're able to reach up and grab the safety things that are in the overhead bins. Past that, obviously, because I'm tall enough, I think it's 70 or 75 inches that you have to be able to reach, something like that. Past that, and then we went upstairs, and once we got upstairs, again, we were in a large conference room. We had tables that were assigned to us, so on our name tag, I had a 2, I believe. So that meant I sat at table 2 with other table 2ers. A lot of mingling. Again, there are recruiters in the room watching, making sure that you're good, you're personable, you can smile. And then they said, please sit down. We're gonna begin the interview process. So we sit down at our tables, and it was very nerve-wracking. I was very nervous, and it was very obvious that other people in the room were nervous too. I love the airline because they said, don't be nervous, we know you're nervous. It makes us nervous when you're nervous. How many times am I gonna say nervous in this video? And they said, we have room to offer jobs to everybody. So this is not Survivor, this is not Amazing Race or whatever you watch. Everybody can get a job in this room as long as you're qualified. I thought that was great that they said that. It made it really clear that they are looking for top talent and this is not a competition, and I really liked that. So they went through a whole presentation, much like the company one that I interviewed with the previous week did, and then they had recruiters come to our individual tables, and they had us read a safety briefing and then answer a customer service question. They took notes, they scored us. While we were doing this, there were other recruiters walking around the room watching us, taking notes about us, which was really interesting as well. And then from there, they said, all right, great. We are now going to do individual interviews. So at this point, they started pulling us back one-on-one. We went to this room, answered questions. They were all based on the values of the company. So really make sure that you're studying whatever company you're going to, study the values of that organization. Obviously, safety is the #1 value, and that's what they're putting forward at their highest mark. So make sure that you study safety. From there, I went back to the room. Within 30 seconds, somebody else came and grabbed me and pulled me back, which I thought was a good sign. Again, he asked me more of the logistical questions of, are you willing to relocate? Are you willing to swim? Blah, 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 all of that stuff. We had a really good conversation. He asked me at the end, do you have any questions for me? And I believe I asked him, why are you still here? Like, why do you continue to come to work every day? From there, I went back and sat down in the room again with all of the people who were being interviewed, and a lady then called me, said, Justin, and please grab your stuff and come with me. I was very nervous. I thought I did really well in the interview, so I was hoping that I would get it. She took me into the hallway, and she said, thank you so much for applying with us today. We really hope you enjoyed your experience. And with that being said, and then there was this pause. I was like, oh God, what is she gonna say? We would love to offer you a job with this company. So ultimately I got the position, and then from there I turned the corner and it was a big hugging fest. All of the recruiters and onboarders were hugging me, and it was really great. I really felt like I was a part of the family and a part of the company. And from there I did my drug testing and fingerprinting and background checks and all of that good stuff. And I picked my training day, which is May 13th, and then I went to the airport and flew home. So it was a very quick process. I was in at 8 o'clock and out at 11:30-ish, I believe. I really loved my experience. I'm so excited to go to training. My experiences were very different. One airline was super quick, super fast. I got the job, but that's not the company I wanted to get the job at. And then my other one, it took forever. I was sad. It was such a long process, and that's where I ended up getting the job. So if I had one piece of advice, I think it would be trust the process. People definitely told me that throughout, and it was really hard to listen to that and just know that, you know, everything's gonna be okay in the end. Good things come to those who wait. Obviously that's hard for me because I'm not a very patient person, but just know that if you're in this position right now of wanting to get a flight attendant job, it's gonna be long. It's the waiting game. It really is. Like, you just have to be patient. You just have to, you know, take a deep breath and know that when the recruiters have the time to get to you, they're gonna get to you. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you learned a lot about the flight attendant application process and how gruesome and long it can be. In the end, trust the process. Just really have confidence in yourself and know that everything's going to be okay no matter what. Have a good day. Feel free to hit the subscribe button right down below if you are new to this channel and have not subscribed to me. New content coming every week about the flight attendant process, my life, what it looks like, and probably some other stuff that I do that's not flight attendant related. Thanks everybody. Have a good day.